The finale of Heavensward is upon us. There are more things about this ending that are proving more stressful than I would like to admit, but here we are, about to see the climactic finish of our first expansion. And then the cards are dealt for what will catapult us into Stormblood, the next expansion. But not before it is accented with a tragic loss. Why is it raining? Here's what happened. Major 3.5 and 3.55 spoilers throughout. So we pick up this tale right after the main Alliance Council meeting on Griffin. Griffin is apparently leading an Alamegan resistance against Baelsar's Wall in an effort to force the hand of the Garlean Empire to engage in a war. The major Alliance leaders are planning to have their soldiers nearby, ready, just in case things go south and start bleeding into the neighborhood lands, specifically looking into Gridania. Our boy Bearmick has opted to be there for the defense to make up for Korthos not participating in the Calamity shenanigans. Well, why didn't they help then? So the Goon Squad talks about the plans, and the first big step that we're going to have to do is to see if we can convince Griffin not to launch this assault. If he does, he could basically start a war, so everyone splits up. Thancred, Ugiri, Reverse Pants, and Papa Meow go to a secret hidden tunnel into Alamigo to see if they can talk some sense into Ilbert, or Griffin. I don't know that this is Griffin. Alfie and I are going to watch shenanigans from a distance, which kind of makes me feel like I am the escalation. Like if things don't go well, I'm going to be thrown in there to be like, yeah, I'd like to speak to your manager. Kryl and Y'shtola are going to go watch Aether Currents, but the stage is set for something big. I don't know. Seriously, I can almost taste it about to happen. Well, I get to the wall, and at first I'm kind of like, wow, that's a tiny wall. Well, not really, because I pan out, and holy hell, look at the size of this thing. It is huge. We get to the top of this tower and we talk to a group of Alliance members, but then chaos erupts like the CDG household without any dark roast coffee. We are informed that the Resistance fighters have donned on Alliance Grand Company outfits and are impersonating them. Along with all the real Alliance soldiers in the nearby area, it looks like a massive coordinated assault. We got played. Now it's time for us to put an end to Griffin. Literally 50 people are here watching, so something is about to happen. Now we have to charge into Baelsar's Wall to stop Griffin, and of course, to save our barbershop quartet of friends, before they get caught in an open war brewing right there in the middle of this military encampment. Well, of course, we don't get to use the tunnel. No, we literally got to scale the whole damn wall. Well, as we are cruising through here, we get to the first boss, and it is a Magitech Predator. But what's hilarious is that he was like in this building, just sitting in this machine, and he's just like, just chilling, waiting for someone to walk in. He's like, I don't know what this does, but I'm going to wait right here. Something will happen. Well, he actually has some unique abilities going back and forth with giant missile cannons, tank busters, and lots of really cool mechanics, lots of moving parts. Well, he goes down and all sorts of mobs start pouring out of these conveyor belts, but literally it's just coming to a meat grinder. Also, I will say that chat dropped a terrible line because I'm going to be playing Black Mage, and they say, oh, your thrusting is coming to a climactic finish.
I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end.
Well, we get to the next boss, which is an armored weapon, and has lots of stuns, heavy hitting abilities, grid attacks, and launchers as well. I actually get stunned into a laser beam, but Aris gets a sweet heal on me just in time to save. Like, really well done. You guys should thank your healers more often. We climb up to the top of this rampart, and Galactic makes a huge point for me to look at this tower in the distance. I'm trying to figure out what it is, but everyone in chat's like, oh, that's so cool. It's spoilers. Well, we kill some loyalists on the way to the top of the dungeon, and guess who we find? The Griffin, all the way at the top of the rampart, and he turns around and takes off his hood, and it's effing Ilbert. I think we all knew that it was going to be him. This absolute jerk of a guy. I hate this guy so much, but I knew it was him from the first moment I heard his voice. Also, chat then says sloppy. Well, then the worst unexpected thing happens. There's a sudden DDoS attack. Both Galactic and Pint-Size are kicked from the server right as we are about to finish the dungeon, followed by me being kicked off. A huge server disconnect. Tons of people got removed from playing the game. This was like the most terrible, worst timing. Pint-Size has been waiting for months for me to get to here. Such disconnection. Well, Ilbert lore is too powerful and he kicked me off the server. So after about 5 to 10 minutes of waiting and everyone getting back into it, we charge forward, not running the risk of another disconnect mid-fight. We're just going to try to get it done. Not only does Griffin have a ton of hard-hitting abilities, he's basically spamming his emote of sloppy. Sloppy. I hate this dude. I hate this dude so much. Like, I know he's meant to be hated, but there's just something more about him. Well, he does massive AoEs, entire arena covering attacks, and he finally goes down, and then Phoenix and Galactic also go down as well. So I, of course, take a photo of him being down on the ground as like my victory log. What a jerk, man. Well, I roll the dice and try to exit the instance, and we get a cutscene of the Resistance fighters cheering as they have a light victory over some of the units here, but Laurentius is on a parapet with a device that looks similar to the one that Wedge used outside of Alexander, and it pans to Yu Yu Hase. Both of these guys are dressed in Garlean outfits, and in charges a giant spider mech machine that immediately murks everyone, like all of them dead so quickly. One of the soldiers cries out to Ralgar to save us. Papa Meow and Reverse Pants join in. I also accidentally pressed the wrong button. That is not the one that I wanted to press. That is not the one that I was looking for. Oh my god, that was so bad. Oh my god, I was not looking for that one. I was really looking for this one.
Well, I guess you just have to be prepared to die.
On the soundboard, whoops. Well, Ilbert stands up and pulls out Nidhogg's eyes out of his prison pocket, and Alfie says there's no abyss too deep for you, it seems. Ilbert knew what he was doing. He has a goal of summoning a primal right here with all the planned death of the Resistance fighters. And of course, it's going to summon a massive angry primal. Well, Ilbert dodges a pun and then looks up one last monologue and dives backwards screaming with laughter while holding the eyes of Nidhogg. We start to hear a lot of ominous music of answers in the background. Dark swirls and really bright lights. Oh no. Reverse Pants then says there must be something that we can do. Papa Meow walks to the edge and pulls out Tupsamati, Louis Sua's staff, and he says there is something that we can do. I was ever his finest pupil. Papa Meow looks at Thancred, and Thancred knows what must be done. Thancred rushes over and pulls Yida away, and Papa Meow says that this is one battle that you cannot fight. We persist and try to stay. He smiles briefly and then blasts us onto the boat. Papa Meow then casts a containment spell to seal the primal that is inside. It is meant to be a cocoon for this primal, at the cost of the caster's life. Papa Meow is gone. My favorite character in this game is gone. I offer you this explanation. Papa Meow has been my favorite effing character in this entire game. He is the only character that I have ever remembered from my first time playing the game. Like, the first time that I played this game, I got to like, I don't know, like level 10 or something like that. I was a Rodigan Lancer, and I remember Papa Meow, and I had a story with Papa Meow, because I couldn't remember his name. So when I first started playing this game again, I was like, oh hey, it's Papa Meow, and he was the coolest character. So now we have to deal with the death of our friend in a brand new primal. The Alliance agrees we need to figure out how to deal with this primal, but we get a cutscene of this giant man with a samurai sword who looks like an absolute tank. He legit starts talking in all caps and walks up to people with extreme Frenchiness. Like, he's right on top of these folks. Well, he apparently rode across the entire ocean and then collapsed here because he was super hungry. And then, of course, there's Urianger watching from the side. Oh boy, who is this Chad? Well, I take a moment to equip the best title in the game, the Finest Pupil's Ally. The Alliance confirms that there is a primal in there, and apparently some Garleans attempted to approach it, but were immediately blasted out of the sky. There is nothing that can be done by us. We can't even get close to do anything anyway. Then this jerk Nero shows up to continue his divorced energy with Sid. Well, he suggests that the only way to stop it is by using Omega, an ancient Allagan weapon specifically built to stop primals and big primals. It's like the Ultima weapon, but better. Well, we don't really have a choice. It is simply use the Omega weapon or die from the primal shenanigan. Well, we have to agree, and Yugiri is given a killing allowance that if Nero steps out of line, that she can unalive him. Well, we talk with the Scion Squad, and in walks this massive tank of a dude, and immediately he recognizes Yugiri. And they say they know each other. Apparently, they are former allies under the same master. His name is Gosetsu, but apparently he's known as Goat Setsu. He tells us that Yugiri needs to come back to Doma, however, she is already committed to protecting the Doman refugees, which now means that she is protecting Eorzea. Well, Goat Setsu finds out that we are going to fight the Empire and need the Omega weapon. And he's like, hey, I'm sworn to kill all Imperials on sight, so let's go. Also, Tartaru has given me the very best new swag outfit out there. Not gonna lie, Cap Dad looks so damn good. Well, we rush off to the Allegan Ruins and the Cartano Flats, and then in charges Grinwat, or Namesday, which is everyone's calling him Namesday. And he's leading an entire legion of Garleans. This guy is so damn goofy. Well, our big boy Gosetsu charges in, and here we go, we're killing again! This goes on for like 10 minutes of killing Garlean soldiers. Like, it's a bit much. We decimated a lot of these guys. And then we get a call from Nero, who lets us use his Magitech Rider, and of course it's red. Well, we get into this thing, and it's absolute carnage, literally blasting everything. It was an absolute slaughter, and I actually kind of feel bad. This has to be like war crimes. Well, it's just Namesday left, and of course we just obliterate him. Down in the Omega room, we essentially talk about how the Omega weapon is going to be a giant autonomous beetle robot that is going to work as intended, and nothing terrible will happen. So, Reverse Pants smashes the big button to release the Omega weapon at the same time that the Primal breaks free from his cocoon. And this robot screams at him, launching tons and tons of rockets as Beetleborg walks up. This thing is apparently the perfect fighting machine against Primals. Lasers dashing back and forth, full Kamehameha waves. Like, it was pretty cool. Well, it ends into a giant explosion, and then the two seem to fall to the earth lifeless. Well, we lose control of Omega, so Sid smashes the sleep button. Another murder robot is lost. Oh boy! Yita's tattoos disappear because Omega destroyed the cocoon, meaning that Papa Meow is now gone. Like, gone all in all. Apparently, the Omega weapon is asleep now, and the Primal Shrinyu is somewhere, but not fully gone, or at least we can't confirm. We talk to Yita outside Baelsar's wall, where Yita reveals that she isn't Yita at all. In fact, she is Lise, Yita's younger sister. Her father was a resistance fighter, and he fought to overthrow the Mad King. Well, the Scion Squad knew that Lise was not, in fact, Yita. Papa Meow simply asked for us to maintain the charade for her. Yita died getting refugees out of Alamigo, and her sister Lise took on her armor and her name in honor of her. Cap Dad looks quite sad because nobody told him. Yugiri and Gosetsu talk, and war is coming. Ilbert got his way. Well, the credits start rolling and we immediately lose server connection. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I immediately lost it here. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this was a bit hard for me. Papa Meow was my first character that I remember playing through in Gridania. When I chose to be my Lancer the first time, I had interactions with him. I wasn't sure if I was gonna stick with the game, but I do remember him because I really couldn't say Papa Limu right. I could only say Papa Meow. This was not okay for me, but I was kind of bracing for it too. We hadn't seen them since the end of A Realm Reborn, and now it all came to a head so quickly, someone wasn't going to make it. Technically, I was right on both accords, because I predicted Papa Meow and Yita not to make it. Technically, we never knew Yita, and she didn't make it because now we have Lise, so I guess I win that one. The fact that even now, after all this crap that Ilbert pulled, and he still got his way, he still got the war he wanted for Alamigo. This is such a terrible build-up to a climactic release into this crap, man. Why does it always have to come to war? I also believe Papa Meow's death was more symbolic for me compared to Harchenfant's. Yes, they both saved our lives. However, Harchenfant's death was so sudden, and we spent a lot more time with him directly leading up to it. Papa Meow, I had time to deal with his absence, and he went out the same way that his teacher went, but successfully. This was brutal. If you guys want to catch up, I've been keeping track of my whole MSQ recaps in a playlist here. If you are interested in learning more, you can click there to see the entire journey thus far. Otherwise, stay caffeinated, folks.